Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the press conference of the State Council Information Office. This year marks the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. On September 3rd, there will be a grand military parade. Today, we're very happy to have with us Major General Wu Zeke, Deputy Director of the Leading Group Office of the Military Parade and Deputy Director General of the Operations Bureau of the Joint Staff Department of the Central Military Commission, and Major General Xu Guizhong, Executive Deputy Director of the Commanding Office of the Military Parade of the PLA Central Theater Command and Deputy Director General of the Political Work Department of the PLA Central Theater Command. Now I'll first give the floor to Major General Wu Zeke. Friends from the media, good morning. First of all, I wish to express sincere appreciation and best wishes to all the friends from the media and to everybody who have given support to the military parade. On September the 3rd, we'll have a grand military parade to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. This parade will be the first one after the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core led the Chinese people onto the new journey of Chinese modernization. It will be a brand new demonstration of the People's Liberation Army marching toward the centenary, and it carries forward the spirit of the War of Resistance and the great national spirit, and it is a demonstration of China's solemn commitment to upholding the right approach to the World War II and safeguarding post-war international order and safeguarding international fairness and justice. The military parade will have a military review and a march past. It will last about 70 minutes. For the military review, the troops will line up along the Chang'an Avenue and be reviewed by General Secretary and President Xi Jinping. For the march past, there will be the flag escort contingent, the marching contingent, the color guard contingent, the armaments formation, and the flyover contingent go past the Tiananmen Square in that order. We'll have altogether 45 contingents or formations. Among that, the flag escort, the fly past, will be made of helicopters and form characters or holding banners to show that the prosperity of the Chinese nation and the development of the army, and after 80 years of journey, the great spirit of the War of Resistance is carried forward and demonstrate to the world that peace, justice, and the people will prevail. As for the marching contingent, it's both and new in that old means that the troops to be reviewed are selected from the units and organizations that were previously the new 8th Route Army, the new 4th Army, and others, and where the old bases were located. By new, I mean that there will be a new formation of the military strength, and they will feature 3 combinations with great morale. They will be reviewed and demonstrate the new outlook and of the army in the new era. As for the color guard contingent, they represent the honor of the army or troops that fought in the war of resistance against Japanese aggression. The flags are forged with the blood and toil of the fallen soldiers. And from the honor, from the color guards, they come from different periods, different regions, and different troops. We have selected the representative ones, and the soldiers from the units will hold high the flags, and that symbolizes the carrying forward of the great spirit and also the tenacity and valiancy of the Chinese People's Liberation Army. As for the armament formation, we have land, sea, air and missile defense, information, unmanned combat groups, and armament groups, and strategic combat groups. Many of them are the latest armaments representing the evolvement of the modern forms of modern war, and some are major equipment that demonstrate the strong capacity of the Chinese PLA. As for the flyover contingent, they are composed of the advanced warning commanding machine, the fighter jets, bombing jets, and transport jets. They basically contain the main modes of models that are in service. A lot of them are published or unveiled for the first time and demonstrate the leapfrog development of the Air Force. Also, we have selected some leading members from the military band of the PLA. We will have a joint military band and play the classic songs and tunes from the Wall of Resistance period. They will play in front of the monument to the people's heroes to cherish the memories and of the fallen heroes who have contributed to the victory. Also, we have some new songs and tunes which will demonstrate the morale of the PLA, which will be played for the first time on the Tiananmen Square. Last time I introduced the several features of the overall design. Today let me build on that and share with you some of the four features of the significance and meaning of the military parade. First, it will demonstrate the firm conviction of the PLA in following command of the party. It will be a demonstration of the latest developments and the outcomes. The PLA with strong enthusiasm and great morale are always ready to be reviewed by the Party Central Committee and President Xi Jinping. We will always be loyal to the core, safeguard the core, and will always be a trustworthy military that can be relied on by the party and people. Second, highlight the theme of the victory of the Wall of Resistance against Japanese aggression. War is like a mirror to show how valuable peace is. We are commemorating to defend peace. In this military review, we're demonstrating to the world our national defense capability to show to the world that the Chinese people cherish peace, remember history to cherish peace, and are determined to defend the outcomes of the victory of the war. Third, we'll demonstrate the new layout of the services and the arms. President Xi Jinping personally directed the efforts to set up the the military aerospace troop, cyberspace troop, the information support troop, and the logistic support troop. We'll have 4 services and 4 arms. Right before the PLA, before the August 1st, President Xi Jinping signed order to publish the full arms flag, and that marks the formation of the new flag system. So in the upcoming parade, the troops will hold high the flag of the military and also the armed police flag. It will be the first demonstration of the new formation of the military. Fourth, will demonstrate our confidence to win battles. The armaments are selected from the in-service combat armaments. a lot of them, or high percentage of them, are the new armaments. The land and aerial armaments are composed in systematically. We will also unveil the hypersonic precision strike unmanned and counter unmanned combat armaments to demonstrate China's strong capacity to defend, to safeguard our sovereignty, security, development interests, and to safeguard world peace. Now, the preparations have basically been completed for the military parade. All the soldiers to be reviewed will be reviewed by the party and the people with high morale and embrace the September the 3rd, the day of victory that will be forever remembered by world people. Thank you. Now I give the floor to Major General Xu Guizhong.
Friends from the media, good morning. It's a pleasure to join you here today to brief you on the military parade. The CPC Central Committee and the Central Military Commission have decided to organize a military parade to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. Our troops are highly enthusiastic. Every officer and soldier takes great pride in being able to be inspected at the parade. They look forward to being part of this solemn and sacred moment, to be inspected by the Party Central Committee and by President Xi Jinping, to be inspected by people throughout the country, and to demonstrate their spirit as a force for peace, justice, majesty, and victory. Just now, Major General Wu Zeke has briefed you on the design of the parade. I'm sure our friends from the media can feel that during the parade there are many new designs and new features. The officers and soldiers come from different types of entities within the military, and a large number of weapons on display will be new weapons shown for the first time, and most of the equipment formations and air formations are mixed formations. So all these features have put forward high requirements for our training and support for the military parade this year. Tens of thousands of people, hundreds of aircraft, and hundreds of ground equipment will be mobilized for the parade to ensure perfect alignment, precise coordination, and flawless timing. It is no less than fighting an actual battle. The preparations, organization, and command for the whole parade require science-based training and thoughtful support. As we train the participants for the parade, we focus on the following points. First, we stay committed to actual combat standards. We take preparations for the parade as an opportunity to forge combat discipline, to train the command, coordination, and support capability. And we rely on combat command system to command the parade. We have come up with plans in accordance with actual combat mode. In particular, when it comes to some new equipment, they are being trained with high intensity shortly after those equipment were delivered to the military. So the parade is also part of our capacity training endeavor. The second point is we focus on science-based training. Compared to previous military parades, this time we have shorter time for preparation. And the troops to be inspected also have other tasks. So in very limited time, we are making sound preparations by making use of Beidou navigation, smart evaluation, among other assessment models, as well as simulation techniques to assist in carrying out basic training, formation training, air-ground coordination training, complex scenario training, and special situation handling training, as well as in training evaluation and assessment. They have proven very effective and have helped save a lot of time, as well as boosted the efficiency. And the third point is we are bringing out the drive and enthusiasm of the soldiers and troops. We encourage them to draw inspiration from history, from the glorious past, and from their role models in history. In particular, after we released news of the military parade on June 24th, the provinces and localities where the soldiers and officers to be inspected are located have carried out morale-boosting activities before and after August 1st. These visits and activities have provided much encouragement to the soldiers and officers and boosted their sense of pride and responsibility. We can see that during their training, the glorious tradition and fine conduct of our party and our military is being carried forward in the next generation of young soldiers and officers. Since the 18th National Congress of the CPC, the logistics and equipment support capacity of our military has achieved leapfrog development, which has strongly boosted our capacity to win. This is notable. During our preparations for the military parade this time, be it the training or the daily life of those participants or the maintenance of the equipment, all these require strong support. In our work, we focus on the following points. First, to give play to the strength of joint logistics. In accordance with joint operations and joint support requirements, we rely on regional joint logistics support system to provide targeted support for the military parade. The second point is we attach importance to strengthening the management support for new equipment. There are hundreds of different types of equipment, and in accordance with actual combat requirement, we have established strong support team and have seen that integrated equipment support be extended to the tactical level to ensure high intensity, high efficiency training. The third point is we attach importance to economizing and frugality to achieve efficient and practical results. We make good use of existing training ground and support capacity and boost the utilization rate of resources to the greatest extent possible, as well as reduce the expenses by great margins. From the recent drills, we can see that the troops to be inspected are basically ready for the inspections. We believe that under the strong leadership of the CPC Central Committee, the Central Military Commission, and President Xi, all the officers and troops will be able to accomplish their task up to the highest standards and live up to the expectations of the party and the people. Let us all look forward to the arrival of the parade. Thank you. Now we open the floor to questions. Please identify your media affiliation before raising your question.
My question is about what are some of the innovations on the accentuation of the theme of the commemoration of the war of resistance. During the last press briefing, I have said that the theme of this parade is to commemorate the great victory and promote the great spirit of the war of resistance. To accentuate that theme and better remember history, honor fallen heroes, cherish peace, and create a better future, we have got creative in designing this year's parade. First is on how to incorporate the features of the war of resistance. We have closely incorporated such numbers as 1945 as the year of victory, the 80th year anniversary, and the 14th year as the length of the war into the parade. The numbers are reflected in the number of parade participants, equipment, and the formation, so that the theme of commemoration is better presented and become more pronounced. Second, on how to better play up the atmosphere of commemoration. The songs on the War of Resistance will be played as an opener of the commemoration activity. The military bands and the choruses will perform classic songs about the War of Resistance, like On the Conghuajiang River, On the Taihangshan Mountain, and Defending the Yellow River, etc. These patriotic verses will take us back again to the years when the wives sent their husbands to the battlefield and mothers taught their kids to fight enemies, and to the heroic times when we see countless war heroes emerging and courageous garrison fighters defending their people. Those songs will bring us back to the warring years and invoke in us the patriotism and a sense of responsibility for our country. The third is on how to illustrate the historical significance of this event. Through various means, we will champion the tried and true the truth of that justice, peace, and the people will eventually prevail. This will further demonstrate that the great victory of the People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War is a victory of justice over evilness, brightness over darkness, and progress over reactionary forces. Thank you.
Mahdi Faraj from Rudao Media Network. I have a question. What new weapons and equipments can we see compared to the previous military parades? And what improvements and breakthroughs have been made in informatization and intelligentization this time? Thank you.
好，请翻译一下。
伊拉克如道新闻，刚才介绍此次阅兵首次参阅装备多，请问具体有哪些新型武器装备亮相？在信息化、智能化水平上有哪些新的提升突破？
好，这个问题由我来回答。这次阅兵，
During the parade, All of the equipment are homegrown active service main battle equipment. It will be a highlight following the 2019 National Day Parade for our new generation equipment to make their debut. There are several features. First, fourth generation equipment, including new tanks, carrier-based aircraft, fighter jets. It will demonstrate our systematic combat capability. Second, land, sea, air-based, unmanned intelligent equipment, as well as anti-drone systems. And networked electronic warfare force will also be part of the parade. In particular, new drones, directed energy weapons, electronic jamming systems, etc., to demonstrate our new quality combat force. Third, some hypersonic air and missile defense and strategic missiles, among other advanced equipment, to demonstrate our strong strategic deterrence capability. The informatization and intelligentization of these equipment are at quite high level, and they show that our forces have the strong capacity to adapt to technological development and the changing state of warfare and to win the warfare of the future. As for what specific equipment will be on display, please wait a little bit longer and you will see. This is a large-scale military parade. How do you organize such training at such a scale? And are there any issues that you were able to tackle in order to boost the efficiency of the training? Indeed, many people and equipment will be part of the upcoming parade, and to be able to train them up to high standards within a short period of time requires us to focus on the four points. First, the troops inspected are high caliber talent. That is an important premise for ensuring the quality of training. Second, the training for the parade is part of the daily training for the troops. All those participating in the parade have already trained on a daily basis, so this provides a sound foundation. We put them together mainly to conduct more precise and targeted training in order to further build up their combat discipline through intensified, concentrated training. Within a short period of time, we are able to achieve the desired results. Third, we have quite mature experience in parade training. Science-based methods, including a whole set of standards, procedures, and models for organizing the training. Meanwhile, we attach importance to smart training techniques, which have helped boost the quality and efficiency of the training. Fourth, we strive to boost the enthusiasm for training and have organized many activities for a great number of people. We promote awareness and morale. In this way, the troops are greatly encouraged not only to take part actively in the training, but also to boost their conduct. So these are the 4 points we focus on. Thank you.
谢主持人，中央广播电视总台央视记者提问。那我们注意到，刚才是特别介绍了这次阅兵将展示我军新的军兵种结构布局。那同时呢，也介绍到说，81前呢，我们也是刚刚发布了新的兵种。
We noticed that you have just talked about the new structure and organization of new service branches and arms. And can you brief us, give us some details on such considerations behind these arrangements? Reform is the drive for a strong military, and a strong military underpins a strong country. Since the party's 18th Congress, the CPC Central Committee, the Central Military Commission, and President Xi Jinping, with unprecedented resolve and drive, led the most extensive and profound national defense and military reform since the founding of New China. As a result, the People's Army has gained a new life in its institution, system, structure, and its spirit, representing a solemn and large stride forward on the path toward building a strong army with the Chinese characteristic. Last year, our military have established an information support force, and the administrative relations of military air force, airspace force, and cyberspace force has been reformed. As a result, the PLA has basically formed a new service branches and military arms under the leadership of the Central Military Commission. That includes 4 military service branches, including Army, Navy, Air Force, and Rocket Force, and 4 independent arms of military, aerospace force, cyberspace force, information support force, and joint logistics support force, which represent a significant stride in building a modern military force with Chinese characteristics. To demonstrate these arrangements and reform, we have made plans in 3 aspects. The first is optimized structure in military forces. Like I just said, we have already released the new flags, the flags of newly established arms, just before the August 1st festival. The military flag is a flag that beckons the troops to fight, also the symbol of the People's Liberation Army. So the improvement of the flag system is the improvement of the military strength itself. So in this parade, the formation will be carrying the flags of their respective service branches and armed police. This in itself is a demonstration of the comprehensive military strength. The second is that the ratio of new quality forces in the new domains are on the rise. In addition to the 4 strategic arms in the foot formation, which represent new quality forces itself, we have also arranged new type of combat forces like unmanned, underwater, cyber, and electromagnetic forces in the armament formation. The third is the more optimized system of armed forces, which not only include in-service PLA forces, but also armed police, reserve forces, and militia, which together form an armed force system with the characteristics of our own military.
谢谢主持人，凤凰卫视记者提问，想问一下，阅兵训练对实战有怎样的意义？对于后续的
What is the significance of parade training for actual combat and boosting the fighting capacity of the troops? Thank you for your question. It is a fine tradition of our training to comply with the highest and most difficult standards with an eye on actual combat capacity building. For this upcoming parade, we set our sight on actual combat standards with an emphasis on joint requirement. Through the training, we help boost the combat capability for joint operations. First, we have strengthened the awareness of integrated operations. The characteristics of joint operations are featured prominently in the upcoming parade. Multiple equipment in one contingent, multiple types of aircraft in one contingent, and the participants are organized in a cross-service manner. So all of these are a demonstration of the integrated use of multidimensional forces in modern warfare. We have organized mutual learning and exchanges between different services, and by training on the same venue and together, we have strengthened the culture of joint operations. Second, we have boosted the capacity for joint operations. Military parade is a joint military operation, cross-service, and cross-region. As we work to organize and implement the parade, we follow the spirit of integration all along. We prepare and control the training separate and combined for each contingent in a precise and targeted manner. We make sure that the resources are allocated in a science-based way, that operations are targeted, coordinated, and precise, and organization is rigorous and up to the highest standards in order to achieve the most natural and in-depth integration of different areas and different elements. In our training, we bring together the forces from different directions and domains, command them, train them, management, and provide support for them as one. Through flawless timing, we ensure that their conduct is the finest and their discipline is improved. This way, we further cement the joint operations capacity of our troops. Thank you. In order to create the sound...
In order to better accentuate this atmosphere of commemoration, we have formed a combined military band for recent parades. Can you brief us on relevant training? According to the overall designs of this parade, the combined military band will be formed based on the PLA Guard of Honor military band and also incorporating the key members of other military units. The combined military band will create a ceremonial and solemn atmosphere for the commemoration activity. First, On the choosing of songs, we pay attention to the song's political significance, the features, reflecting the features of the times, ceremonial and artistic values, both passing on traditions and making new innovations. We have orchestrated songs like On the Songhua River and Defending the Yellow River, and other classic songs of the War of Resistance. At the same time, we also especially composed new songs with the features of the times that looks back on the glory and the hardship during the fierce 14-year battle, and also accentuates the majestic spirit of the People's Army's large strides forward in the new era. Second, on the formation of the military band. The formation is composed of 14 roles, signifying 14 years in the war. The formation features 80 buglers in the front row, which symbolizes the 80th anniversary of the victory. Such arrangement not only incorporates in it factors related to historic events, but also reflects features and the significance of this year. Third, on the arrangement of training. The military band will be standing the whole time they will be inspected, which is a comprehensive test for their performance skill, their fighting spirit, their conducting and coordination, as well as their physical strength. We will conduct step-by-step training that includes and focuses on both individual performance, ensemble within different voice parts, and ensemble of the entire military band. We also meticulously train the military bands, focusing on the coordination between different voice parts and the military band, and between the playing and the singing. At the same time, we will also organize targeted trainings to improve the uniformity of movements and the steadiness of their performance, so as to enhance and ensure a high-quality performance in the end.
I'd like to ask, what's the significance of commemorating this event on such a big scale, and what do you hope the international community takes away from this?
请问大规模纪念抗日战争胜利80周年阅兵有什么重要意义？您希望国际社会从中得到什么启示？ Thank you for this question. This military parade is an important part of the commemoration of the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. It is aimed at remembering history, honoring the fallen heroes, cherishing peace, and creating the future. The Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression started the earliest and lasted the longest. Under the Chinese United Front against Japanese aggression, advocated and established by the CPC, the Chinese people have forged ahead in unison and held ground in the Eastern Theater in the World Anti-Fascist War and contained and fought against the main force of Japanese militarism. We defeated and killed more than 1.5 million Japanese troops and wrote a glorious chapter in the victory of the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and contributed significantly to the victory of the World Anti-Fascist War. Peace has come by not easily, and peace must be defended. China stands ready to work with all peace-loving countries and people in the world to draw lessons from history, draw profound lessons from the Second World War and the great victory of the anti-fascist war, to get wisdom and strength from those, uphold a right outlook on World War II, firmly defend the post-war international order, safeguard international fairness and justice, firmly oppose all forms of hegemonism and power politics, and work together to build a community with a shared future for humanity and to create an even brighter future for humanity. Thank you. China News Service. There will be new armaments unveiled. How do you manage and provide logistics?
Since the 18th National Congress of the CPC, we have achieved leapfrog development in armament building and historic achievements. To manage and protect the new weapons and equipments, we must adapt to new changes, take new measures, and adopt new means. In the upcoming parade, there will be many different types of equipment which make use of new technologies, and most of them will be put together in mixed formations. So there is quite great difficulty imposed upon us in terms of management and support for the equipment. So given such situation, we have adopted some measures. First, in terms of people providing the support, in accordance with actual combat requirements, we have selected experts and technical professionals from different areas and established a flattened and highly efficient support system, which is why we say that our joint logistics support have been extended to the tactical level. Second, in terms of the model of support, making use of existing equipment, technique requirements, and standard operation procedures, we have established a single item equipment responsibility system. And implemented card-based, checklist-based maintenance. We have achieved the standardized equipment management support. Third, in terms of the means of support, we make use of intelligent equipment management information system. in a dynamic way, it enables us to collect timely information, analyze data, and build the operational picture. We monitor the sound. We monitor the conditions of the equipment throughout the process and carry out preventive maintenance in a targeted manner. This way, our efficiency and efficacy of support is significantly enhanced.
谢谢中国日报提问，能否介绍一下今年参加这个阅兵的维和方队是如何选出的？
How are the peacekeeping formations selected, and what is the significance for China's participation in the UN peacekeeping missions? Thank you. It is well known that China is the largest contributor to peacekeeping troops among the permanent members of the UN Security Council, and there are an 8,000 contingent in the Chinese peacekeeping troop. China's troops is a key force in the UN peacekeeping missions. This year is the 35th anniversary of China's participation in UN peacekeeping missions. Over the past 35 years, China's peacekeeping missions have been more science-based and institutionalized, and we have formulated policies, principles, and actions and guidelines that, in keeping with international standards and with Chinese characteristics, the services have expanded to multiple ones, and the tasks have transitioned from support to multifunctional peacekeeping operations, from monitoring of ceasefire to promoting enduring peace. China has contributed significantly to world peace and taken concrete actions in support of multilateralism and the purposes and principles of the UN Charter. It also demonstrates that China's troops are the troops of peace, of justice, and of civilized and good conduct. The peacekeeping formation, they have carried out international peacekeeping operations, and they have origins from the Northeast United Army against Japanese aggression, and they cover engineering troops and infantry. This arrangement is to commemorate of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression. It also demonstrates China's sense of responsibility in safeguarding world peace. China is committed to peaceful development, and China's troops are always for peace. China's blue helmets will continue to contribute to peace and show their responsibilities and continue to write a glorious chapter in building a community with a shared future for humanity. Thank you.
谢谢主持人，新京报的记者。那我们注意到，近期为了做好这个阅兵的准备和合练工作，北京市陆续
We noticed that recently, to better prepare and rehearse for the parade, the Beijing municipal government has effected and conducted some traffic and air control measures. How to minimize its impact on Beijing residents?
这个问题我来回答一下。在阅兵筹备过程中啊，我们有一个
When preparing for the parade, one of our overarching principles is not to disturb the residents and to disturb them as little as possible, and to minimize the influence it would have on Beijing residents.
有这么几个方面。
In particular, we focus on the following aspects.
集中训练点位的部署上，
First, when choosing the training grounds, we try to pick places far away from the city center
非常小
and places with low residential density.
二是在天安门
Second,
合练时间
when choosing the time for rehearsal at Tiananmen,
工作日
we avoided
安排
working
在
days
周末的
and conduct such rehearsals during night times at weekends.
三是在部队的机动上
Third, on the movement of troops,
精细组织、研究
we have meticulously planned
和推演
and
目标，
studied the relevant arrangements.
优化部队机动的
We've optimized
编组
the grouping,
时间、
the timing, the routes, and the manner of the movement of these troops.
人员装备尽量的
We tried as much as possible to concentrate the personnel and equipment into
最
large
大限
groupings
度的压减
to minimize
行军梯队的数
the
量
number
和彼此
of
间
the military echelons and the space between these
大型装备
different echelons during their marching.
是先远离
Large-scale
市区
equipment
集中停放，
are stationed in places far away from the
快
city
速地进入市
and
区
then
预定
march
区
into designated zones and areas upon directives
对道路的
rapidly
占用，
so as to minimize their use of
尽量地
city
压缩
roads
在市区
and reduce their time in the
四
city.
是在区域管制上，
Fourth, on area control,
我们与地方的交管
we have coordinated closely with
等部门
regional road and air traffic control and special services.
详细勘察
We have carefully surveyed the situation in every junction,
每个时
in every area, and
尽量
during
地
every
压
time
缩
slot
管
to
制
try to
区域
reduce as much as
和
possible
时间，
the area and the time and the length of time in the restricted
五是在
section.
空中管制上，
Fifth, on air control,
只是对阅兵基准航线
the
周边
airspace would only be
低
cleared
空空域
in the low altitude region
进行
near the baseline flight routes during the parade in specific time
民
slots.
航运行的高峰，
The peak time of passenger flights would be avoided.
精细地调控空域资源，
We have carefully regulated
尽量
airspace
减少
resources to try to
对
minimize
民航航
the
班的
influence on civil aviation.
北京市委市政府
The Beijing
和广大人民
Municipal
群众
Party Committee, the municipal government, and the people cares very much
非常的
about the
关
parade.
心重视，给予了我们很多
They
的
have given us
理解，
much understanding and support.
特别是在受邀部
In
队的
particular, they have given us a lot of
生
help
活
in ensuring
保障
the life, transportation, and logistics of
提
our
供了
inspected
很多的
troops.
帮助。借此机会，
So I'd like to take this opportunity
向北京市委市政府、
to pay my
向
tribute
广大人民群
and
众
to express
表示我
my
们的
appreciation
诚挚敬意。
to the Beijing Municipal Party Committee, municipal government, and the Beijing people.
好，谢谢主持人。解放军报中国军网记者提问：这次阅兵编设战旗防队，集中展示我军
This
抗战时期的
parade
中心
features
旗帜
flag
请问
formation,
是
which
如何体现
demonstrate
这个
the
抗战
flags
时期
of
的传
honor
承
and
和
merits during the War of Resistance. How does this arrangement better pass on the tradition of the great spirit of the War of Resistance? During the warring years, 14 warring years during the War of Resistance, a lot of heroic groups and combat models emerged. They have dedicated themselves to the great cause of saving the nation, achieving national independence and people's liberation, and achieving world peace. With their heroic spirit, they have earned eternal glory that go down in history and have established monuments of unyielding spirits that always inspires. During this parade, we will demonstrate some representative flags of honor and merits First, we think that they can better illustrate the process of the war of resistance. These flags are selected from formally designated units, including 8th Root Army, New Fourth Army, Northeast United Forces, and South China Guerrillas. So they are epitomes of our military in their hard, arduous struggles during the war of resistance, and embodies the hardship and the glory they endured during their fight against the invaders. Another consideration is that it is a salutation to our great national heroes. Each and every military flag embodies the sacrifice made by our heroes. They also carries valiant stories of their defending our country. When passing through the Tiananmen Square, the flag formation and the monument to the people's heroes together form a moving scene where the fallen heroes and the merited troops, the history and the present integrates and showcases our commemoration for the revolutionary martyrs. Another consideration is that this arrangement can help us pass on the tradition of the great spirit in the war of resistance. The flag carriers all come from the troops of merits and honor, and showcases our resolve to pass on the spirit of the war of resistance and the relevant fine traditions. They will serve as a motivation for all officials and soldiers to pass on their revolutionary genes and to inspire them to move forward in the process of building a strong military. Thank you. Militia is an important force in our armed forces and plays an important role in the war of resistance. Can you brief us on militia formation in this parade? Thank you for your question. The soldiers and the people are the foundation of victories. The militia was born along with the armed struggles led by the CPC. During the War of Resistance, militia included as many as more than 2.6 million people. Many of the people participated in the war and offered their support on the front line, fighting valiantly against the enemies, effecting 106,000 casualties in the enemy, plunging the invaders into the vast ocean of the People's War. In the new era, the militia is experiencing transition and reshaping and marching on to the path toward high-quality development. They have fulfilled their missions of providing services during ordinary times, coming afore during emergencies, and engaging in battles during warring times. In this parade, we have selected militia from 15 provinces, covering major resistance bases during the War of Resistance led by the party. Some of them come from traditional military groups such as railway guerrillas, guerrillas on the plains that are renowned and enjoys great military achievements. Some of them come from military groups that have created the tunnel warfare, landmine warfare, and sparrows warfare during the War of Resistance. And some others come from model militia groups that have made new contributions and played new important roles after the founding of New China. Such arrangement not only reflects the historic contribution made by militia in the War of Resistance, but also reflected the new enterprising spirit of militia in the new era and the new achievements of the National Defense Reserve Force development. In terms of the closing of the militia formation, we have made quite a number of innovations compared to previous parades, which will fully demonstrate the fresh and brand new image of Chinese militia in the new era. Thank you. In the interest of time, that will be the end of today's press briefing. Thank you for your briefing and thank you all for participation.